Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the masterclass Connect with Confidence 3 Steps to Authentic Networking. My name is Coco Duan. I am a senior executive turned executive life coach. I empower high achieving women who secretly doubt themselves to build unshakable confidence so that they can build a life that feels as good as it looks. So tell me that if you have ever felt that networking is icky, forced, and transactional. And if you ever felt that you are awkward at networking, or you think networking is overrated, your work speaks for itself. You don't really need to network that much. Or if you think networking is important, but you're not sure where to start, what to say, how to reach out. If you have experienced any of those above, you are at the right place. And today, you are going to walk away with some very fundamental mindset shift and practical tools to change all of that. And you may have tried before is that you may have just avoided networking and because it's just really not enjoyable, or you are just white knuckling your way through because you feel like you have to do it. But the good news is that today you are going to walk away with a new process, a better way of doing it. I call it 3M framework. My 3M framework is a 3-step process that allow you to network with ease, with authenticity, and also effectiveness. In that way, that you can build many more meaningful and genuine relationships that truly support your personal and professional growth. So you may wonder, Coco, how come you are the one sharing this knowledge and this expertise? And the reason why I'm able to share this is because this is I've learned all of the things I'm going to teach you through my lived experience. And I used to dread networking every time when someone asks me to go to a networking event, or even I have to reach out to someone that I don't know. I just felt so anxious, and I felt it in my body, and there's a pit in my stomach, and just so not enjoyable. And I wanted to avoid it at all cost. And even I had to go and do it. It just I wasn't myself. Then because of that, I really didn't see the value of networking. And so my circle is very small. My is very much just immediate team boss, or the cross-functional teams and leaders that fairly close to me. And I wasn't very intentional about building relationships outside of that immediate circle. I only discovered the power of networking, really authentic relationship building, after I left corporate world 2 years ago. And as an entrepreneur, I needed to build this support network. And really, last 2 years, I have attended over 100 networking events, and I met over 1,000 people. Through that process, I got to learn a new way and a different way and a better way of building relationships. And I completely rebuilt my whole support system in the last 2 years. I made many new friends, find new mentors, and got many new clients through networking. More importantly is that I built many long-lasting, rich relationships, and that really enriched my life. And my life just feels so much more fulfilling as a result of that. So today, I'm very excited to share all the learnings that I've had for the last 2 years. Okay, so let's start with deep dive into where all those the thoughts, right, where are they coming from. So the there's a very important concept to understand is that we the our mindset, which is a set of beliefs and thoughts that we have, and then the thoughts and beliefs tend to drive our emotions, and our emotions drive our behaviors and actions. If we don't want to do something, and if we do or don't do something, a lot of times it's because we have certain beliefs about it, or if we feel a certain way about certain things, and tend to be there's some underlying beliefs that we have. And there I have identified some common beliefs we have about networking. And those beliefs, I call them limiting beliefs because they are potentially holding you back. They are really two types of beliefs. One type of belief is your beliefs about networking itself. Another type of belief, it is your relationship with networking. It's almost how you think about you when you go networking. It's your identity. So when it comes to the beliefs about networking, I have identified three common ones. The first one is networking feels forced, transactional, and self-promotional. You don't want to use people because feels like networking is about selling yourself. And selling yourself feels misaligned with your value. That's one. The second one is my work should speak for itself. So networking is not as important as me showing up do the great work. And you deprioritize networking. You don't see networking as strategic or essential until you hit a plateau or want to pivot and want to look for new opportunities. And this one and two kind of fit into each other. Because you don't see it as strategic and essential, you don't do it intentionally and also ahead of time, then when you really need it, then you go and reach out people. That's usually when you ask for something or look for new opportunity. Then that's when it feels transactional. That's when it feels a bit uncomfortable. So these two kind of go hand in hand. We're going to address that. And the third common limiting belief about networking is that somehow this just need to go to networking events. Those kind of events tend to be one too many. You walk into a room full of strangers, and it just feels very uncomfortable. You don't even know where to start. So that's the third one. Then another set of beliefs is about your relationship with networking is really you, your identity. One common one, super common one, is this anxiety, right? Anxious, the feeling of anxiety. And one is where it's coming from. First is if you feel networking, you need to impress people. It's about you showing up as very interesting, very impressive. And then with that, we you have the doubt if you are interesting or valuable enough to connect with especially more senior or more successful people. And that's super normal, right? It's like what do I have to show for if someone's already so successful? It's so hard for me to impress them. How I'm going to do that? That in gives you really make you feel anxious. Mm. And the second is because of that thought, because of that experience, then you show up feeling very awkward because you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say, you are not feeling really comfortable with yourself. The another common one goes along with this is that fear of rejection. Because you feel like you're not that impressive, interesting, or valuable, then you wonder, what if people don't respond? What if people say no to you? And what if you say the wrong thing? All of those goes into this just anxious, right? And feeling this anxiety inducing because you put this pressure on yourself. The next common one is that you say, I don't have time for it. When you don't have time for something, usually it's not you don't have time, it's you're not willing to make time for it. You know, if something's really important to you, you will make time for it. Because you don't see the value, or you don't, because it's not enjoyable, not pleasant to do the network in the way that you are doing now, you trying to avoid it. Then you make the excuse, say, I don't have time. But in reality is that you don't value it enough to make time. We'll change that. The last one, it's even easier to address, is that, oh, I know it's important, but I don't know where to start. I don't know who to reach out to, what to say, how to follow up without being awkward. That once we address all the other limiting beliefs, and this one, I'll teach you a few practical strategies, then problem solved. Very easy to solve. So those are a bunch of limiting beliefs that you may have about networking itself or about you, your identity. So you may wonder, where did all of this limiting beliefs come from? First of all, is that you truly wanted to do a little bit of self-reflection. Say, hey, which ones I identify? You can only change them when you know what you need to change. Once you identify which ones can limiting you and holding you back, then you all will work together to find ways to shift and change them. Where it came from, it always came from the past, our past experience. And we were taught a lot of the things we learned because we were taught to do that way. Because we were taught in a certain way, then we assumed that was the only way because we didn't know better. So let me share with you how my past experience shaped my view about networking. And I remember my very first experience with networking was almost 20 years ago when I first came to the US for business school. Only 3 months into a new country, right? This new way of living and still trying to navigate everything. And we were asked to look for a summer internship and just throw into this kind of chaotic, frantic job search. One of the things we were asked to do was to network after school. Usually, what kind of networking? It's happy hour or dinner sponsored by potential employer. And we have a lot of employers come to the campus looking for MBA students. And those networking events, it's very kind of single-minded. It's really to get a job. And we network with whom? Recruiters or potential hiring managers from the company. And the the purpose is really just pretty transactional, about to get a job. And then the format is usually is like you go into a big conference room and just see many people suited up, look all very serious, standing in their small circles, and everyone trying to be smart and trying to impress the the recruiter. And really it's kind of like a semi job interview to get actual interview. And this, first of all, it's you walking is even hard to get into a circle if the conversation already started. Once you get into the circle, a lot of times I was just first felt so awkward. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do, and just this like desire to impress but didn't know how. And especially only 3 months into the US and business school, my English, I wasn't even very comfortable with my English. So this whole thing was just like chaos and disaster. And that was my first experience with networking. I would say it left some pretty unpleasant marks on me. And with that, I really didn't enjoy this whole experience. Luckily, I found a job. Okay, then after business school, then went into corporate world. The networking, we also did quite a bit of networking, but the networking also happy hours or dinners, and there's alcohol involved. And the people that come from the company, not necessarily a lot of them are necessarily like-minded people, and the conversation is very much superficial level of conversation, or just talk about work, and it just felt uncomfortable. And so really that was my pretty much the most of extent of my experience with networking, right? With those two kind of experience in business school and in corporate world. And overall, the impression is that, right, networking is transactional, forced, unpleasant, unenjoyable, uncomfortable. I'm awkward at it. I'm not good at it. I don't like it, and all of that. So it's pretty much all negative experience. On top of that is at work, I'm always a hard worker, very diligent, and high performing. So I got recognition, promotions, and leadership roles really without doing much of relationship building outside of my immediate circle. And really, that informed me. Another belief is that I didn't need to. The relationship building, it was not essential. My work spoke for itself. To some degree, it worked. And the outside of it, my immediate circle with my team, my boss, my cross-functional team, and some few close leaders. And also I built some other relationships along the way, but wasn't very intentional about it. It was just more of, oh, I felt connected with someone, and then we kept in touch over the years. We developed a relationship, but a few and far between. That was it. And but I didn't even know what I was missing until I left corporate. And so really, that was my past experience. And in that past experience pretty much formed my beliefs about networking and all of that. So you may not have the same experience, but you may have your own unique experience, and with similar kind of flavoring that kind of formed your belief system about it. The good news is that because it was formed, right? All the things is not intrinsic. It's all because of that means we can change it. If something shaped our beliefs, past experience shaped our current belief, that means we can create new experience, and this new experiences and new thoughts can create new reality. So that's what we are going to do today. And I just want to invite you to imagine for a second that there's a better way and a different way. It's that you are able to actually intentionally build meaningful, genuine relationships. And those relationships create a lot of abundance for you. You make new friends, you meet confidants, you find mentors, advisors, and gives you new business opportunity, job opportunities, and in like overall just you have this build this incredible support network. And your support network who truly support you on your biggest dreams and goals also help you to become a better version of yourself. Imagine that. You just have people lift you up and have people inspire you to achieve your goal and dream and help you to become a better version of yourself. And you're you're doing it, and you're building this ships with ease, with authenticity, and you do it with confidence and feels very organic and just feels energizing, and it feels life giving, not life sucking, but life giving. How wonderful that would be, right? And it's absolutely possible. And because the old way is not working. The old way, you either just white knuckling your way through with a lot of stress, tension, and resistance. Just feel like I have to do it. I should do it. I should do more of it. That kind of energy. Or you just avoid it altogether. Either way is really not serving you because you feel like it's not aligned with you. It just doesn't feel right. Now, I'm going to give you a process that feels right and feels aligned with you, that you want to do more of it. Okay, this process is 3M. 3M process. The first M is mindset. It's mindset upgrade. You need a mindset upgrade. You really, the old sets of beliefs are outdated. You need to redefine networking and rewire your identity. Redefine networking. So I would like to call networking building rich relationships. Building rich relationships. So, what are rich relationships? I mentioned a bit earlier. Rich relationships are really the relationships that gives you abundance. Both side mutual abundance, right? It's that friends, mentors, confidants, that people who really support your big dream and goals, and people who inspire you to become a better version of yourself. That kind of relationships are rich relationships, and they are genuine and meaningful. They are not kind of relationships that you need to sell yourself. Definitely not kind of relationship just to get and give business cards. Absolutely not. And also because that that kind of relationship, it is not short term. It's not overnight. It's long term lasting. With that in mind, is that it's not a relationship you just go and get something. You start with giving. Start with you being generous. Generosity is the key word here. Generosity. It's about you giving value in service of someone and support someone. It almost feels like you imagine you go to the bank, you want to withdraw money. You have nothing to withdraw if you don't make deposit. So think of building this rich relationships is about you make the deposit in the bank. You need to do that. Generosity. And you don't want to wait till you need it, because as I said, this kind of rich relationships takes time. So you want to start now. You want to start sooner, and you want to be intentional about it, because you don't know when you need certain support at certain point of your life. Then it's really about uh, really a different way of living. Your way of living is about constantly, on a regular basis, finding your people and building this rich relationships on a regular basis. So that's the first. Networking is not to sell yourself. It's not to get business cards. Networking, it's about building rich relationships. It's about making that deposit before you withdraw. It's about doing it proactively, intentionally, ahead of time. And it's about being generous. And thinking of it, it's an investment. It's an investment in yourself. And it compounds as it goes. So that's how you need to rewire your belief system about redefine this whole networking. And second, it's about you need to rewire your identity. Couple of things. How do you do it? First, this is a game changer for me. It's that networking is not about impressing others. You need to understand this human psychology. We have, we human beings, no matter where you're from, different background, different country, different socioeconomics, doesn't matter. This number one fundamental human need is to feel seen, heard, understood. I want to emphasize that. The number one human need is that we all want to be seen, heard, and understood. There's a famous quote from Maya Angelou. She says, people don't remember what you said. People don't remember what you did, but people remember how you make them feel. So the key to building rich relationships is that you want to make people feel good about themselves. That means it's not about you being interesting. It's about you being interested. The difference, not being interesting, but about being interested. Just that subtle shift is a major, major shift in how you show up. Because if you're thinking about you being interesting, it's that just anxiety inducing right there because you're being self-conscious, right? It's like, oh, what should I say? How should I impress other people? Blah, blah, blah. It just becomes self-centered. And it's hard to be very authentic and be very, with ease. But now you think about how you can be interested. Just make the other person feel good about themselves. It's completely a game changer. So I'll share with you more how to make that happen. But here, just want you to remember that. Shifting from interesting to interested. Another shift is also critical, but you may not be able to do that overnight. It takes practice. Is another thought, right? People have, oh, I'm not valuable. If people are more successful or more senior, it's like, oh, I don't have anything valuable to offer. That's not true. The truth is you have something valuable to offer because everyone does. Everyone does. You are a unique human being. No one else on this earth has your background, your experiences, your perspectives, and just all the personalities, your characters. This combination of all of that, there's only one you in this whole world. Just by bringing your unique perspective to the other person, that's valuable enough. Remember that. That's one. You are unique, so you are valuable. Another one, it's also what's super helpful for me was you also need to realize people who are more successful or more senior, they have already accomplished a lot. And most of them are really kind people. And they wanted, at that stage of their life, they all want to help and contribute. They want to feel they are valuable. And how do they feel they are valuable? Just the fact that if you are willing to ask them for support, for help, for advice, and then you are willing to be this eager, curious student of them, and that's the value you are bringing them because you are making them feel valuable by helping you, supporting you, and contributing. Let it sink in for a second. Think about the experience that you have, because I have experiences of younger or junior people come and ask me for advice, be their mentor. Every single time I feel so flattered. I'm very willing to spend time with them, especially the ones that are truly, you can tell whether someone truly willing, right, to learn from you. Do they really have that genuine curiosity? They take your words to heart. And when I see those type of people, oh, I'm willing to spend as much time as they need, because it really make me feel good, about myself. Like, oh, they value me. They think my advice, my all this, the experience are valuable. So just that. So you don't need to be anything else but this eager, curious, inquisitive student. And that alone is the value you bring. Very simple, right? But that simple shift can be groundbreaking. Another one, another one belief shift, it will help you to counter this fear of rejection. All of us have that fear, and I used to have that fear big time. And I hesitated. I didn't want to reach out to some people. It was because, oh, I was so afraid, what if they say no? But remember that people say no or don't respond, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's the them. Don't take it personally. It's whatever's happening in their life. You have no idea. It could be they're just overwhelmed and they're grumpy or whatever. It's don't even need to make any assumptions because you have no idea. So key is that it has nothing to do with you. And also think about it. You have nothing to lose. Let's say if they say no, if they don't respond, you are just back to where you started. But at least you gave it a shot. There's a 50-50 chance. Take that chance. So one question to ask yourself is that this really helped me is that what would you do if you had no fear? What would you do if you had no fear of rejection? If you are not afraid of people saying no to you, what would you do? Do that thing, because really that fear is very much a perceived danger, but that danger is not real. That's number one. First M, mindset. The second M is method. Now you have shifted your mindset. Now it's about taking action and putting into practice. The second M is a method. It's really practical ways to meet and nurture connections. What are the practical ways? First of all, it's thinking about, once you broaden the definition of networking, is really about building rich relationships. Then really think about all different ways you can meet people, meet new people. Really thinking about first date. What are the different places you can meet people for the first time? Obviously, the traditional networking events is one of them, but that's not only one. It doesn't have always to be the uncomfortable, awkward happy hours or dinners. Because I don't even need dinners these days. I don't drink alcohol, so I don't even like to go to that type of things, and I don't need to. Another type of event is the personal development focused organizations. For instance, for me, it's Toastmasters Club. If you have never heard of it, it's a nonprofit organization. It's a worldwide. You can look it up. You can find one close to you where you go practice public speaking. It's a very, very supportive and safe environment. There are a lot of people there are very growth mindset oriented. You can find your own type of events, right? Personal development focused events. And then of course your hobbies, your social activities. And you can, right, I go to a CrossFit gym every day. I go out dancing. I just recently started an improv class. All those places, I meet new people. For you, you may have your running group or hiking group or swimming team, whatever those is that all of those places you can meet new people. And the others is think about the even one-on-one setting at, let's say, within your company. You can reach out to people who are not on your immediate team, the people who work in different departments that you don't necessarily interact with each other. You can look up their LinkedIn profile and reach out to them and have coffee chat. So I'm going to, give you more on that later. And on LinkedIn, you also can reach out to strangers. We all remember our number one human needs is feeling we are social animals. We are social animals. Every single person need social connection. Take that as a given. Reach out to people there. Just say, hey, I like your background. It looks like we have some similar experience. I'd love to just reach out, have a quick coffee chat. Just that. Another thing you can do is that you can organize your own event. You can be proactive. You don't have to wait to join other people's event. You can be the host and organize your own event. For instance, last year I did a monthly women's brunch in my place on a regular basis. And I would invite women I met from different walks of my life, bring them together. They also can bring friends. That's where we connect, also meeting new people, all of that, right? So you can organize your own event. So what you ultimately want to do is that once you meet people for the first time, then you ultimately want to get down to one-on-one, building this long-term relationship. And you need to build this one-on-one relationship. And you invite people. You invite people for a deeper relationship. And I'm going to tell you different stages of the relationship, how to do that. So a couple of things to note is one is focus on quality, not quantity. So what you get to define what the right quality is, but the rule of thumb is that not necessarily most successful people who has most followers or people who have the biggest titles, that not necessarily define quality. The quality is the type of people aligned with your values that you feel like you're connected, you feel safe, you feel comfortable around them, and they inspire you. And ultimately, they show up for you. When you need them, they are there for you. That is quality relationship. So I remember Esther Perel. If you don't know, she's a very renowned couple therapist. She said the other day, she said, nowadays, people have hundreds and thousands of friends on social media, but they cannot find one friend to feed their cat. So that's what we're talking about, the quality, the type of friend, the type of connection, the type of relationship that will show up for you when you need them. It's not just a bunch of surface level, superficial friends, right? So that's that. Then next is that once you meet all these people, then it's about the different phases. You need to take to the three different phases. There are three main phases. First is the initiation process. It's really just the first date. And the second phase is nurture. You need to nurture the relationship. And the last step is activate. The first step is initiate. How do you have the best first date? While you're being yourself, feeling comfortable and feeling authentic at the same time, also connecting with people in a very effective way. One is be proactive. Very, very important. Be proactive. Be the one to say hi. Be the first one to say hi. Just as simple as that. I know it takes some practice. It may be uncomfortable. But first, realize most people are shy. Okay? If you're waiting for people to say hi, then you're going to be waiting for a long time. So don't hide in a corner. Just be friendly. Say, hi, my name is Coco. What's your name? What brought you here? As simple as that. Or just give a simple compliment. Say, hey, I like your, ladies, women's will like say, hey, I like your dress, I like your hairstyle, I like your purse. And just that icebreaker just to say hi. Be proactive, initiating the conversation. Then the second thing is what I said earlier. Be interested, not interesting. Be interested in the other person. Show genuine curiosity. How do you show you're interested? How do you show that you're curious? Is by asking questions. Yes, by asking questions. Asking what type of questions? Really, two. Simple to remember. Open ended. Open ended is what, how, why, where, that type of questions, not yes or no. It's not a type of question you can answer yes or no. Because open-ended questions is open. There's more possibilities, there's more room to explore. That's one. Second is ask deep questions. Don't just stay on the surface. Don't just ask, what do you do? Oh, don't just talk about the weather. Don't just talk about where do you live. You can start with that. Of course, with a stranger, you don't just dive into deep questions. You start with surface question. But you want to follow up with deep question. Deep question doesn't need to be philosophical, but I give you example, a couple of examples of what that deep question can look like. Just one level deeper, really, it's simple, but really, really get to the next level, because that's a lot of time people rarely get to ask those questions, and but we all have the desired, we all want to be seen, right? And then people are not getting asked enough about themselves. So if you are the one, just ask that kind of questions immediately, you actually get their attention. You impress them without truly trying to impress them. So for instance, a couple examples. After you ask people, oh, what do you do? And they say, oh, I am, I don't know, I'm a therapist, let's say. Then you ask them, how did you get into this profession? Just that. What do you do? You ask, how did you get into that profession? They always, there's a story. People love to tell their stories. So once they say their story, then you follow up with, what do you enjoy most about whatever they do? Then you can say, what's the most challenging part of what you do? That those questions might go to questions, and people love it. And another question I love to ask is that, what if they're in the same profession as me? I would just say, oh, what advice would you give to someone like me who are junior, who are newer in this field? Or the another question similar to that is like, oh, what advice would you give to your younger self? Look at that. That's a killer question. Very, very simple, really, but thought provoking. Very, very thoughtful. So I have a list of 10 questions. 10 feel good questions. I'm going to put in the show note. You can refer to them. And I use those questions all the time. Super, super effective. After you ask questions, next important thing is you need to listen. Need to truly listen to understand, not listen to respond. How many times when people are saying something, you're already thinking, what are you going to say next? That's not how you be a good networker, right? That's not how you connect with people. You connect with people by truly listening to what they have to say. And that's what, in general, a rule of thumb is that when you meet someone the first time, you want them to talk 80% of the time, and you only speak 20% of the time. Yes, 80-20 rule. But of course, this is not rigid. If another person is also very good at building relationships, you too will end up be like 50-50, right? Just this organic flow. You say something, they listen, respond, and then you follow up back and forth, back and forth. It just becomes very, very smooth, organic, and just both of you feel seen, heard, and understood. But for someone who's not as well versed in this, then you can show up as a master relationship builder. Then also another very interesting thing is through this practice, this exercise, you actually get to screen people. Then you get to collect data on certain people. Then you realize certain people you would not want to take the relationship to the next level. Have you ever met someone who just maybe have very impressive background and just only want to talk about themselves? They never ask a question about you. It's all about them. That type of people, in general, you don't feel good about yourself in that interaction. You probably don't want to meet that person again, right? So that's the thing. It's like, imagine there are two people. One is have impressive background, all they want to talk about themselves. And the other person probably don't have as impressive background, but shows incredible curiosity about you, keep asking you, and that, all of that. Who would you want to meet and, spend more time with? Probably the second person. So you want to be the second person. And in general, obviously not always the case, but in general, my thing is, if someone's so self-centered, don't even ask me one single question in our conversation, that person do not pass my quality check mark. I would not want to take the relationship to the next level. But sometimes people are just a little bit nervous. That could be, maybe I give a second chance. But in general, it's a good signal, and to see what kind of person that is. Okay, now go to the third phase, the second phase. Okay, the first phase is initiate. Then the second phase is nurture. You need to nurture the relationship. The relationship doesn't automatically just one interaction and you're just already be able to, just support each other, all of that. No, it's the second level. That's where you're going to really, really support each other in service, support them in service of them, add value to their life. How do you do that? Right, two ways. One is, what's their biggest dream and goal? Support them on that. Be the dream amplifier. Second is, when they're in pain and you're there to help them and support them. So be the pain detector, dream amplifier, and pain detector. If you do this too well, then you're gold. You're gold. Everybody would love you to have you in their lives. So let me give you a couple of examples, real examples that I have a dream amplifier. So I met my friend Ariana. She a few years ago, she walked past my house a couple of times during COVID, and I just, I saw her, and I just said hi, right? Initiate. Once I said hi, I felt like, oh, we had a lot of in common, so we decided to spend more time together. So over the years, and we just being each other's dream amplifier. When I decided to become a coach, I needed people to practice and organize events, I want people to participate. She always showed up for me. And recently she started her own business, and I was there for her. I gave her advice. I she she's starting her personal training business, so she got to practice on me. I attended her event. I gave her testimonial, all of that. So we are each other's dream amplifier. That's one. The other is pain detector. Sometimes it's just, you just need to pay attention, right? Just need to pay attention. So how do you know? It's sometimes just conversation, or sometimes you need to check in. Sometimes it's really just know, okay, certain natural disaster hits certain area, and you have friends in that area, so you want to check in with them. My example is that I go to a CrossFit gym. The owner of the gym, we sometimes just have a casual conversations. One day he mentioned to me that his daughter is diagnosed with ADHD. And based on our conversation, I can tell that he's a bit stressed about it, and he feels like not necessarily have a lot of knowledge and experience to deal with that. And then since I listen to a lot of podcasts, I read a lot of books about psychology, behavior science, neuroscience, all of that type of things. When I come across a couple of episodes or podcast episodes about ADHD, I found it very helpful, and I send them to him. Just that, just simple sharing resources. And just that, he felt really grateful. He was very grateful for it. So when my book pre-sale campaign launched, he was one of the very first one of the very first people supported me. He just jumped on it, supported me. Just a simple act of listening and paying attention. You can know, right, what people's dreams is and where they're experiencing pain. Through that process of nurture, then you can get to the next phase, which is activate. Activate is really when you need support and help, you need to ask. But at that point, you have already made enough of deposit in your bank. It's your time to withdraw, and you should feel good about doing that. So, for instance, what I did is I last month I launched my book pre-sale campaign. Really, the book actually is not coming out in November this year, and I was asking people to support me in May, and the book is half done. Right? That took a lot of people's belief in me to support me, and raised well how I got 120 people supported on my book. 120. It's pretty extraordinary. I sold 150 copies. I raised almost $10,000. I'm able to do that. It's because of last 2 years I have built so many rich relationships. I have initiated a lot, nurtured a lot of relationships, and I was there to support them, to inspire them, to add value in their lives. And now it's a time for me to activate, to ask them for support. They're showing up for me. So that's how it works. And it's truly, truly incredible and feel so amazing, because that's what life is all about, isn't it? It's like people, relationships, showing up for each other and help each other to achieve your dreams and goals, and help each other to become better version of ourselves. So that's the method, the second M. How do you do it? Now come down to the third M. It's bring it all together, bring it home. Is now you have this mindset shift. Obviously, it's a process. You don't. This all three. It's a step by step, but at the same time, it's a reinforced process. The third M is called. I'm calling it micro bravery. What does it mean? Micro bravery. The this ultimately is a muscle. Building rich relationships is a muscle. You need to exercise the muscle by taking micro, means small. Bravery is courageous. Courage, it do need to take a little bit courage. You need to take courageous, small, courageous actions consistently. Once you do that, then it becomes part of you. But you can only get better because now you're learning new new beliefs, new skills, and you can only get better by doing it. You will get more comfortable by doing it. You will become less and less anxious by doing it. But the key is start small. Start small, baby steps. And that's so much of this micro bravery is about regulating your nervous system, get your nervous system comfortable doing it little by little. Stretch it, do something that is makes you uncomfortable, but you can complete, so that your nervous system stretches, makes feel safe. It's like, oh, it's okay, I can do this, right? Stretches it. Once it stretches it, then go to the next level, next level, next level. So if you're really anxious about going to big networking event, go to a smaller one first. And reaching out to people who are, certain people are very intimidating, start with someone who's less intimidating, or low stake connection, and peer. Start with a peer, right? Things like that. Just you need to know what is the baby step for you, but remember, it's an action that is a little bit uncomfortable, but you can complete. Another thing really, really critical is need to celebrate yourself. I cannot emphasize this enough, because when you're learning something new, doing something uncomfortable, then you always want to celebrate your progress. When you reach out, let's you go to a networking event, you said hi to someone, you initiated you initiated the conversation, you reached out to someone, and you actually more be more interested, ask more questions, less self-conscious, less about impressing others. Just all the things I have mentioned, all the different things I've mentioned, you practice, right? You practice one at a time. Whenever you practice one of the things, whether you did it successfully or not, doesn't matter. The most important thing is that you did it. Celebrate that. The more you do, the more enjoyable it becomes. The more you want to do it. And then you celebrate. You celebrate, that activate the dopamine, the reward center in your brain, and releases dopamine, then give you more motivation to do it. Then you create this virtuous cycle. You create this momentum. And eventually it becomes you, and it forms this new identity of yours. Then guess what? That you implement this 3M process, shifting the mindset, Practicing the methods and really micro bravery, showing up by taking courageous small actions consistently. And with that, you are going to build more and more rich relationships. You are going to create more opportunities. You are going to feel more supported, and you are your life. It just feels way more fulfilling because the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. When you have more rich relationships, then you have richer life, really enrich your life. That's the essence of life. It's not more money, more success, more prestige. Mm-mm. It's more rich relationships, more people, people who care about you, love you, help you to reach your dreams, and help you, inspire you to become a better version of yourself. And then you do the same thing in return. And that's what a meaningful life is all about. And that's really the essence of you build a life that looks as good as, feels as good as it looks. Okay, with that, that is the the master class. And what if you want to more support building this confidence, right? Building the confidence in building relationships. More importantly, it is building this unshakable confidence in every area of your life. That's something I am expert in, and I can help you with that. And if you wanted to experience this incredible accelerated transformation, and I invite you to join my VIP coaching program. In the 3 months that we work together, I take you step by step and guide you through the process that I've learned in the last 4 years. It took me 4 years to get to where I am, but I'm able to do it with you in a very focused, laser focused, and accelerated process. So my long road becomes your shortcut. And then you are able to really transform in a very short period of time. And then really show up like with unshakable confidence in every areas of your life. If you're interested in learning about the program, and you the simple way to do it is I offer 45 minutes free consultation. And because you may wonder, oh, is it right for me or not, right? Coaching is it's an investment. Absolutely. I make it very easy for you. This 45 minutes conversation is not a sales call. It's a clarity call. You are going to take away with incredible clarity on where you are now, where do you want to go, what's the gap in between, what's really holding you back. And I'm going to map out a personalized game plan. And then if we decide to work together, fantastic. I'm just very, excited to support you on this journey. But if we decided not to work together, you're still going to walk away with incredible insights to move forward with your life. So just email me at coco@cocoduancoaching.com to schedule this call. I'm very looking forward to speaking with you and continue to support you on this incredible growth journey. Until next time, and I wish you all the best and be kind to yourself, and I'll see you soon.